told you intelligence was a gift, that some people are just born better, sharper, faster, smarter, and you were supposed to accept that. Accept your place. Accept your limits. Accept that no matter how hard you try, you'll never match the naturals, the chosen ones, the golden children, the ones who always seem 2 steps ahead, without even trying. But here's the truth no one dares to say. Raw genius is overrated, because what they call genius is often just undisciplined energy. A spark with no direction, a fire with no purpose, and fire without control doesn't build empires. It burns them down. Most of them, they never learn how to wield it. They never sharpen their edge. They never harden their focus. They stay comfortable, admired, envied, and ultimately unchallenged. And in that comfort, they decay. Because the game doesn't reward talent. The game rewards those who evolve, those who adapt, those who refuse to be stagnant. And here's the part they don't want you to realize. No one is truly safe. Not the rich, not the brilliant, not the comfortable. Comfort is the most dangerous trap ever invented, because it whispers, "You've made it," while quietly dulling your edge, starving your hunger, and lulling you into stillness, until the world rips the floor out from under you. They might sit on top now, but every throne has a timer. Every empire has cracks in the foundation. And every so-called genius who stops growing is just another slow-moving target waiting to fall. The stakes are always high, even when it feels like they aren't. Especially when it feels like they aren't, because that's when the rot sets in. That's when the mind begins to drift, when habits loosen, when sharp instincts turn dull, and the ones who looked unbeatable suddenly look vulnerable. So don't envy them. Don't waste a second idolizing the ones who were born gifted. Because you're not here for handouts. You're not here to be given power. You're here to take it. You don't need to be the smartest in the room. You just need to be the one who upgrades the fastest. The one who never stops evolving, never stops sharpening, never stops overclocking. While they coast, you compound. While they drift, you drive. While they talk about potential, you become it. Because intelligence is not some mystical gift carved into the stars. It's a weapon you forge, day by brutal day, in the fire of your own obsession. And if you're willing to suffer for your edge, to sacrifice comfort for clarity, distraction for domination, then you will surpass them. Quietly, relentlessly, permanently. You will not just compete. You will erase their names from the scoreboard. And by the time they even realize you're coming, you'll already be standing at the top. Not because you were born better, but because you refused to stay where you were born. Now let me ask you this. Are you ready to become the weapon no genius saw coming? You don't need to be the smartest in the room. You just need to be the one who upgrades the fastest. Because speed is the new intelligence. Not the speed of movement, but the speed of adaptation. The speed of thought. The speed of letting go of outdated beliefs and installing new ones. The speed of killing your excuses before they can speak. Genius sits on its throne and waits for ideas to arrive. You hunt them down. You stalk them like prey. You rip them out of the darkness and turn them into systems, strategies, tools of war. You don't need to outthink a genius. You need to outbuild them, outgrind them, outlast them. Because a mind that refuses to upgrade is a relic, a fossil of a once burning fire. And you've seen it, haven't you? The gifted kid who peaked at 17. The class valedictorian with no fight left in them. The one who was praised so early, they never learned how to bleed. Let them have the praise. Let them have the applause. You're not here for validation. You're here for evolution. You are the one who studies while they sleep, who works while they coast, who sharpens while they celebrate. Because here's the truth. No genius, no talent, no born intellect can match the power of a mind that refuses to be outworked. This isn't just about output. It's about identity. Are you the type who folds when it gets hard? Or are you the one who bends reality to your will? Because quitting is simply not in your coding? You think Elon Musk is smarter than you? Think again. You think the billionaires and CEOs and empire builders were all valedictorians? Most weren't. But they had this: a mind wired to upgrade, a soul trained for pressure, a brain that refused to be a hostage to comfort. And that's something you can build. Right now. Today. But not if you still crave approval. Not if you're still waiting for the right time. Not if you're still telling yourself that other people were just built different. Because if you believe that lie, you'll never push yourself to the edge. You'll never need to become more. And that means you'll stay exactly where they left you. Behind. So no, you don't need to be born a genius. You need to become a problem they can't solve. A storm that never dies down. A force of focus so precise, so unforgiving, that even brilliance starts to stutter in your presence. You become this not through luck, not through genetics, but through relentless psychological warfare. A war against your own limits, against your own laziness, against the voice that says, rest, relax, you've done enough. No, you've only just begun. Step 1. Destroy the myth of balance. They sold you a lie. Life is about balance. Work hard, but don't forget to relax. Make time for rest. Make time for fun. It sounds good, doesn't it? It sounds reasonable. It sounds human. And that's exactly why it's so lethal. Because reasonableness is the gateway drug to mediocrity. It's how they tame you, soften you, weaken your edge until you become digestible. You want to overclock your brain? You want to outwork the naturals, outthink the elites, and shatter the illusion of genius? Then understand this. Balance is not your friend. Not right now. Not at this level. Not when the fire inside you hasn't fully formed yet. You are not in the luxury phase of life. You're in the forging phase. The phase where your mind, your body, your drive must be beaten into shape with hours of focus, friction, and sacrifice. Where you must bleed for your evolution. Where sleep becomes strategy. Where meals are fuel, not comfort. Where weekends don't exist. Just mission checkpoints. This is war. You don't win wars with balance. You win with obsession. And let's be clear. Obsession is not dysfunction. It is precision. It is clarity. It is the unbreakable refusal to be average. Because look around. The balanced ones, they're the ones drifting. The ones managing. The ones trying to keep everything in harmony while their dreams rot quietly in the background. They're busy optimizing for comfort, while you're optimizing for conquest. There will be time for balance later, time for peace, but not now. Not while you still live in a world that feeds you distractions instead of direction. Not while your brain is still sluggish from digital dopamine binges. Not while you still hesitate when it's time to move. Not while there's a single layer of softness left in you. This phase demands imbalance. Deliberate imbalance. Obsessive imbalance. The kind of imbalance that turns the rest of your life into a straight line because you dared to go all in when it mattered most. So stop chasing symmetry. Start chasing dominance. Let your schedule look insane. Let your focus scare people. Let them whisper behind your back. Something's wrong with them. Because they're right. Something is wrong with you. You're done pretending this world is fair. You're done pretending success will come to those who take it slow. You're not here to take it slow. You're here to take it all. And to do that, you must first destroy the myth of balance. Burn it, bury it, and use its ashes to light the path forward. Because the mind doesn't evolve in calm. It evolves in fire. And fire demands sacrifice. Step 2. Program your obsessions. You are not your thoughts. You are not your emotions. You are not even your habits. You are what you obsess over. And make no mistake, you are always obsessing over something. Most people just don't realize it. They obsess over what they fear, over the opinions of strangers, over failure, over comfort, over status. They obsess unconsciously, and so their lives spiral out of control without them ever understanding why. But here's the truth they never teach. Obsession is not the enemy. Unconscious obsession is. And if you don't take command of what you obsess over, someone else will. The algorithm will. The culture will. Your wounds will. And they will turn your mind into a machine of hesitation, anxiety, and mental weakness. You want to overclock your brain? Then you must deliberately choose your obsessions. Install them like software. Feed them daily. Nurture them like sacred fire. This is where you begin your reprogramming. You don't wait for motivation. You force-feed your mind what it needs until it stops craving what it doesn't. Because your brain is not loyal to truth. It's loyal to repetition. What you repeat becomes your belief. What you focus on becomes your fixation. And what you fixate on becomes your future. So if you're still obsessing over gossip, fantasy, comparison, and fear, don't act surprised when your life mirrors chaos. You want to run with elite minds? Then train your brain like one. Wake up and flood your system with vision. Feed your subconscious images of victory, domination, intensity. Read with violence. Study like war. Every podcast, every journal, every sentence you write. It's not consumption. It's command code. And you repeat it until it's all you see, until it's all you know, until your mind becomes possessed with purpose. Let them call you obsessive. Let them call you extreme, because they're right. You are extreme. And that's exactly why you're going to win. Because the truth is, every master was once just a fool who obsessed with intention, who programmed their day, who restructured their world, who rigged their entire mental ecosystem to keep them sharp, savage, and locked in. You want results that look impossible? Then you need obsessions that feel insane. You need to breathe your mission, to taste your future, to dream in strategies, to see your goals not as maybe, but as inevitable. Because your entire nervous system is marching in one direction. And when you lock in like that, there is no competition. Because even the most gifted minds will bow to the one who turned obsession into operating code. Step 3. Turn fatigue into fuel. Most people treat fatigue like a red light. They hit the wall, and they stop. They yawn, and they fold. They feel resistance, and they retreat. Why? Because they were trained to believe that exhaustion is a signal to rest. That the moment you feel tired, Your body is telling you to slow down, to back off, to protect yourself. But here's the brutal truth. Fatigue is not a signal to stop. It's a threshold, a door, a moment of truth where the weak break down and the weaponized break through. You want to overclock your mind? Then you must teach your nervous system that fatigue is not a curse. It's a summon, a call to rise, a call to dig, a call to access the second layer of power most people never touch. Because beyond fatigue, that's where your evolution begins. Beyond the trembling hands, the heavy eyes, the fractured thoughts, is where your mind is no longer relying on comfort. It's creating energy from will, from grit, from rage. You need to understand this. Energy is not just physical. It's mental. It's spiritual. And you can generate it with the right psychological triggers. Pressure, breath, music, movement, imagery, rituals, visualizations so potent they shock your system back into flow. And once you learn how to tap that, you become limitless. You no longer fear the 12th hour of work. You hunt it, because you know what most people don't. When you're fatigued, your ego is tired, your defenses are down, the filters are gone, and what's left is the real you, the raw, the unfiltered, the savage underneath all the performance masks. This is when you train differently. You learn faster. You feel more. You start accessing deep cognitive states that only unlock under pressure. Your memory sharpens. Your intuition kicks in. Your soul stops whispering and starts roaring. But only if you push. Only if you refuse to treat fatigue like failure. Only if you stop running from that heavy feeling and start running into it. Because most people collapse at the first sign of strain. But you make fatigue your training partner. You dance with it. You laugh at it. You let it try to break you, so you can show it who you really are. And when you do that enough times, your body adapts. Your brain evolves. Your identity transforms. No longer a victim of exhaustion, but a commander of energy. A force of will so hardened, so conditioned, so used to war, that even on your worst day, you're still more dangerous than most on their best. Because fatigue doesn't slow down a true warrior. It wakes them up. Step 4. Eliminate friction. Like a man possessed. You don't rise by adding more. You rise by removing what slows you down. This is where most people fail. They think growth means stacking. More goals, more apps, more techniques, more noise. They confuse movement with progress. They confuse clutter with ambition. But speed isn't created by adding weight. It's created by cutting the dead mass. You want to overclock your mind? Then you must become a removal machine, a hunter of friction, an assassin of inefficiency, obsessed with deleting anything, anyone that steals time, attention, or momentum. You don't just trim the fat, you burn it. Because every second of hesitation has a source. Every ounce of procrastination has a root. And your job is to track it and kill it. Look around you. What's on your desk that doesn't serve the mission? What apps are bleeding dopamine from your skull? Who's in your circle that drains your drive every time they speak? Cut them. Not later. Now you don't need more podcasts. You need more silence. You don't need more planners. You need fewer distractions. You don't need more affirmations. You need less resistance between decision and execution. This is about clarity. Raw, tactical, lethal clarity. And clarity doesn't come from trying to control everything. It comes from simplifying everything. You must become a minimalist of war, a Spartan of execution, a black hole of wasted energy. where nothing survives unless it fuels your ascent. Want to write? Eliminate notifications. Want to train? Eliminate excuses. Want to dominate? Eliminate anything that doesn't push you closer to the peak. Friction is a silent killer. It won't scream. It won't warn you. It'll just delay you, corrode you, until one day you look back and realize you've been sprinting on sand your whole life. You need clean terrain. You need an environment so sharp, so pure, so intolerant of weakness, that even thinking about slacking off feels like treason. You need systems, not motivation. Triggers, not willpower. Habits, not hope. You don't get faster by pushing harder. You get faster by removing what's in the way. And when your mind is no longer tangled in noise, when your workflow is pure signal, no static, when every movement is clean, decisive, non-negotiable, then you're not just working harder. You're working in another dimension. You're not just productive. You're inevitable. Step 5. Become the architect of your neural patterns. Your brain is not a mirror. It doesn't reflect truth. It reflects conditioning. Patterns, loops, habits, formed not by wisdom, but by repetition, formed by trauma, by routines, by the voices you listened to when your identity was still soft. And now, those patterns run your life. You react before you choose. You fear before you think. You sabotage before you even start. Not because you're broken, but because your neural architecture was built in survival, not sovereignty. If you want to overclock your mind, if you want to outwork the gods they told you to worship, then you must become the architect of your own damn brain. You must look at your mental blueprint and burn the weak structure to the ground. Because what you inherited, what you picked up from teachers, parents, failures, heartbreak, systems, it's not sacred. It's just code. Glitchy, outdated, slow-running code. And you're not here to run someone else's software. You're here to reprogram it all. Deliberately, ruthlessly, relentlessly. That means no more passive mornings, no more mindless scrolls, no more default behaviors that steal your attention and chain you to your past. You design your thoughts now. You script your reactions. You install beliefs by force until they harden into identity. And you do it with precision, visualization, not just dreams, but simulations. Mental rehearsals so real, your nervous system doesn't know the difference. You feel the win. You live the grind. You embed the process. Affirmation, not soft-spoken lies, but thunderous declarations of identity. You say with conviction until the neurons rearrange themselves in fear. Environment, not comfort, not aesthetics, but strategic warfare. Your room, your screen, your tools, every inch optimized to reflect the next level of you. Every item either activates progress or gets destroyed. Trigger stacking. You tie behaviors together like explosives. Wake, hydrate, move, write, train. No hesitation, no drift, just clean execution. Again and again and again, until your entire reality bends around your rhythm. You're not just thinking differently, you're becoming different. Because repetition isn't just how you learn, it's how you become. So don't ask, why am I like this? Ask, what did I repeat enough to install this version of me? And then rewire the entire system with sacred violence. You are not a victim of your past. You are a coder of consciousness. You are not some echo of past pain. You are the architect of power. And when you take control of your neural patterns, when you sculpt your own operating system through ruthless design, you're not just leveling up. You're rewriting destiny. Step 6. Refuse to outsource thinking. We live in an age of noise, endless content, endless headlines, endless experts vomiting opinions into your skull, telling you what to think, how to feel, who to follow, what to fear. And you've been trained to absorb, not to question, to agree, to parrot, to conform. They fed you books but never taught you how to interrogate them. They gave you credentials, not clarity. They gave you a script and called it wisdom. But understand this: you will never overclock your mind by thinking with someone else's brain. You will never become elite by memorizing recycled ideas. You will never rise by quoting others who never bled for what they said. You are not here to be a collector of information. You are here to become a creator of perception. That means no more outsourcing your mind to algorithms, celebrities, or ideologies. No more downloading the consensus of the herd and calling it truth. Because truth, real truth, is not handed to you. It's extracted, in silence, in solitude, in confrontation with your own thoughts. You want to think clearly? Then you must first think dangerously. Question everything, even your own beliefs, especially your own beliefs. Hold them to the fire and see if they scream. Every conclusion you didn't reach through experience is a liability. Every opinion you inherited without testing is a trap. And if you're still living in a mind that was built by school, media, trauma, or culture, you're not alive. You're on lease. So stop being a follower with a fancy vocabulary. Burn your sacred cows. Refuse the easy answers. Dig beneath the surface until the dirt turns to fire. Because only then will you find original thought. Ask deeper questions. Not, what should I do? But what is the system behind this desire? Not, who's right? But why do I feel the need to pick a side? You want to become rare? Start thinking in layers. See patterns where others see chaos. See motivations behind the mask. Dissect language. Detect fear. Analyze moves, not morals. And do it all in silence. Not for applause, not for likes, but for precision. Because in a world of parrots, even a whisper of independent thought sounds like thunder. You don't need more content. You need more consciousness. You don't need more instruction. You need more interrogation. So take your mind back. Reclaim it from the headlines, from the scrolls, from the so-called thought leaders who never live the truth they sell, and build a mind that others are afraid to challenge. A mind that doesn't bend to pressure. It applies it. A mind that doesn't echo the world. It reprograms it. Because when you stop outsourcing thought, when you reclaim your right to original clarity, you don't just become smarter, you become sovereign. Step 7. Move like a beast. Think like a machine. You were never meant to sit all day. Never meant to slump in a chair, eyes glazed over, scrolling your potential into oblivion. Never meant to be still, soft, passive. That's not evolution. That's erosion. You want to overclock your brain? Then start with your body. Because movement isn't just physical. It's neurological. It's spiritual. It's a signal to the universe that you are still alive and still dangerous. You want to think sharper? Move harder. Because a stagnant body creates a stagnant mind. And most people, their thinking is slow because their blood is slow. Their vision is cloudy because their spine hasn't straightened in months. Their ambition is weak because their body has forgotten what it means to hunt. You want clarity? Run until your lungs burn and your mind screams to quit. Then keep going. That's where the noise dies. That's where the answers live. That's where the beast wakes up. Because the beast doesn't care how you feel. The beast executes. With broken bones. With sleep-deprived eyes. With a heart that doesn't flinch and a jaw locked in purpose. This isn't about six-packs or vanity. This is about activation. About turning the body into an amplifier for the mind. Because every push-up you do is a vote for discipline. Every drop of sweat is an attack against chaos. Every workout is a ritual of rebellion. Against weakness, against modern softness, against the lie that says you should take it easy. And once the body is moving like a beast, you sharpen the machine, the brain. Because when your nervous system is primed through movement, when your hormones are balanced through strain, when your posture screams readiness, then the machine kicks in. You stop daydreaming. You stop hesitating. You stop thinking like a human trained to obey. You begin to think like a system. Cold, strategic, precise, no emotion, just data, no whining, just calculation, no excuses, just execution. You optimize inputs. You refine decision trees. You eliminate variables. You automate excellence until even your lowest state is lethal. This is what happens when the beast and the machine align. When your body is forged in fire and your mind is coated in steel, you become a hybrid that this world can't predict. Too primal to manipulate, too calculated to defeat. Because when your blood is hot, but your mind is cold, nothing can stop you. Not pressure, not critics, not fatigue, not failure. You rise, relentlessly, because your body has been trained for war, and your mind has been engineered for conquest. You don't just survive, you dominate. You move like a beast. You think like a machine. And you evolve like something the world has never seen before. Step 8. Steal time from sleepwalkers. There are two types of people in this world. The ones who kill time, and the ones who kill with time. You want to know why most people never become dangerous? Why they float from goal to goal, year to year, never breaking through? It's simple. They treat time like it's infinite. They act like they've got decades to get serious. They move like the clock owes them mercy. They plan like tomorrow is guaranteed. But here's the truth they're too scared to face. You are already out of time. The seconds are bleeding. The clock doesn't care about your excuses, your trauma, your goals. It just keeps draining. And every day you delay, there is someone out there, moving, building, reading, training, upgrading. While you rationalize, they weaponize. You want to overclock your brain? Then you must steal time from the sleepwalkers, from the ones who wake up late and die slowly, from the ones who confuse laziness with self-care, from the ones who say, "You've got time," while sprinting toward regret. They sleep in. You rise before the world breathes. They scroll. You study. They binge. You build. You don't need 10 extra hours in the day. You just need to stop wasting the ones you already have. Because time isn't something you manage. It's something you conquer. You build systems, ruthless ones. You structure your mornings like battle plans. You block distractions like assassins at the gate. You weaponize every hour, not with more activity, but with more intensity. Time is not measured in minutes. It's measured in decisions. How many decisions did you make today that pushed the mission forward? How many were executed without hesitation? How many were aligned with your identity? Sleepwalkers drift. They follow the rhythm of the world. But the ones who rise, they move against it. They wake before the herd. They eat when others waste. They train when others whine. They create while others consume. You must become that kind of savage, that kind of tactician, the one who watches the crowd sleep and uses their apathy as fuel. You want elite performance? Then stop moving on the world's clock. Start moving on your own. And don't just protect your time. Hunt with it. Make every hour a hammer. Make every minute an arrow. Make your schedule so aggressive, so sacred, that even time is afraid to be wasted in your presence. Because when you master time, you don't just pass others. You erase them. Not with talent, not with luck, but with cold, ruthless, hour-by-hour domination. That's how you outwork the world. That's how you surpass the gifted. That's how you steal history right out of their hands. One stolen hour at a time. Step 9. Kill the comfort addict inside you. You've got a traitor inside you. It whispers sweet things. It tells you you've earned it, that you need a break, that one day off won't hurt, that it's okay to coast, just for now. It sounds kind. It sounds reasonable. But it is a liar. That voice, that's the comfort addict. The one inside you that fears pressure, fears growth, fears evolution. And if you don't kill it, it will kill your potential. Not quickly, but slowly, day by day, choice by choice. Until one morning you wake up and realize the warrior you were building is gone, replaced by something softer, slower, less certain. You can't afford to negotiate with that voice anymore, because comfort is not a reward. It's a sedative. It doesn't elevate you. It numbs you. It doesn't give you peace. It strips you of power. You want to overclock your brain? Then you have to break the addiction to ease. You have to become offended by convenience, allergic to passivity, hostile to the idea of good enough. Because every time you choose comfort over growth, you're not just slowing down, you're installing weakness into your nervous system. And weakness is viral. It spreads. You skip one workout. Suddenly discipline feels optional. You sleep in once. Suddenly your mornings lose their bite. You coast through one day. Suddenly your mission is diluted. So kill the comfort addict. Not once. Daily. Hunt it down in your routines, in your language, in your decisions. Rip it from your identity with rage and precision. Replace "I deserve this" with "I demand more." Replace "I'm tired" with "I'm not done yet." Replace "That's good enough" with "It's not worthy of me." Because the new you doesn't worship comfort. The new you conquers it. You build your throne in fire, not feathers. In structure, not softness. In discipline, not dopamine. And no, this isn't about becoming cold or robotic. It's about becoming so alive that mediocrity burns your skin. It's about building a nervous system that thrives under pressure, a mind that sharpens when others break, a soul that remembers its mission even when no one is watching. So ask yourself, who's running your life right now? The warrior or the comfort addict? Because only one of them survives. Only one of them evolves. Only one of them deserves to lead your future. And the other must be buried. Step 10. Build a mind that bleeds discipline. If everything else in you fails, your talent, your mood, your body, your motivation, there is one thing that must never collapse: discipline. Discipline is not a habit. It's not a strategy. It's not a morning routine or a 5-step hack. Discipline is your blood code. It is the final line of defense between you and the abyss. And when all else crumbles, when fear kicks in, when exhaustion tightens its grip, when the voices get loud and the world turns dark, discipline is what makes you move anyway. It doesn't ask how you feel. It doesn't care what happened yesterday. It doesn't wait for permission, applause, or perfect conditions. Discipline is war. And the ones who master it, they don't have it. They bleed it. You want to know the truth? Every goal you've missed, every opportunity you've let slip, every version of yourself you failed to become, it wasn't because you weren't smart enough. It wasn't because life was unfair. It was because your discipline cracked when the pressure rose. And that can't happen again. You're not here to build average. You're not here to be better than most. You're here to break the scale. So you must train your mind like a soldier trains for war. You must kill your inner child that still needs reward to act. You must rewire your instinct to move without hesitation, to execute without comfort, to deliver without compromise. Discipline is your edge in the apocalypse of distraction. While the world scrolls, you build. While the world complains, you move. While the world folds, you sharpen. And here's the part no one wants to say out loud. There is no finish line. There is no "I made it." There is no moment where the voice in your head shuts up and says, "You're good now. Relax." No. Even when you reach the peak, discipline is what keeps you from falling. Because success isn't permanent. Strength isn't guaranteed. Power fades the moment you stop earning it. So discipline isn't just how you rise. It's how you stay untouchable. How you stay sharp in a world designed to dull you. How you stay sovereign in a world built to own you. You don't need more speed. You need more non-negotiables. You need more structure than emotion. More execution than explanation. Discipline means you train when it's inconvenient. You build when no one's watching. You fight when every part of you wants to rest. And you keep going, even when the path disappears beneath your feet. Because your mind is no longer ruled by desire. It's ruled by decision. This is how empires are built. This is how legends are carved into time. This is how warriors rise from nothing and take what was never offered. Through unbreakable discipline that flows in their bloodstream. Not as an act, as a state of being. So if you want to become the kind of force that even geniuses fear, you better build a mind that bleeds discipline. Because that's the only kind that survives the storm. That thrives in chaos. That laughs in the face of resistance and says, "I'm not here to be remembered. I'm here to become inevitable." You wanted to know how to overclock your brain, how to outwork every genius you know, how to become the kind of force this world can't ignore. Now you know. But this path is not for the faint. It's not for those still begging for balance, still worshiping comfort, still hoping life gets easier. It won't. And that's why you're perfect for this. Because deep down, you don't want ease. You want fire. You want pressure. You want the edge. Because that's where the real you lives. So remember what brought you here. You destroyed the myth of balance. Because greatness demands obsession. You programmed your obsessions until they became your fuel, your identity, your North Star. You turned fatigue into fuel, using exhaustion as the door to your evolution. You eliminated friction like a man possessed, cutting every distraction that slowed your rise. You became the architect of your neural patterns, rewriting your mind line by line in blood and purpose. You refused to outsource thinking, choosing clarity over consensus, depth over noise. You moved like a beast and thought like a machine, wielding the primal and the precise in one unified weapon. You stole time from the sleepwalkers, taking what they waste and forging it into legacy. You killed the comfort addict inside you, burying the softness that kept you average. And finally, you built a mind that bleeds discipline, a mind that doesn't ask, it executes. This is not motivation. This is a mandate. Because the world is full of talent rotting in comfort, gifted minds trapped in distraction, and broken souls blaming fate for what they never had the courage to build. But not you. You don't need to be born brilliant. You just need to become unbreakable. So from this moment forward, don't compete. Outlast. Don't wait. Execute. Don't rise quietly. Break the world open with your presence. Because they won't remember the ones who scrolled, waited, hoped. They will remember the one who moved with fire, who thought with steel, who trained their mind to burn through time itself. That one is you.